an unemployed project manager, scrum master, project coordinator looking for a job. I wrote a book about running local AI systems on your computer called GPT for All, installing, configuring, and using a local AI chatbot that you control. It's currently on Amazon.com. If you're a Kindle Unlimited user, it is currently free as of November 20th, 2025. If you are not a Kindle Unlimited user, it is very low cost. I want to have as many people as possible to learn in to understand how to run a GPT system, a chatbot system, locally on your computer that you are able to control. If you like what I'm saying, contact me. Again, I am a project manager, scrum master, project coordinator with a PMP, CSM, certified scrum master, very, very technical, very well knowledge about project management. So, what's this video going to be about? Today's video is going to be about something which I think is a disaster in the making, which are these OpenAI powered toys. These chatbot toys, dolls, teddy bears, what have you, that are currently being sold and released by companies that make, such as Mattel, in collaboration with OpenAI, either voluntarily or not for them. And I'm a father. This is absolutely terrible. Now, I need to back up for a second. Earlier I said I'm a project manager, scrum master, stuff like that. I am not. I'm actually a risk manager. My job as a project manager or scrum master, project coordinator, what have you, is actually not to manage projects. It's actually to analyze risks and make sure that projects are done smoothly, that the output of the projects are aligned with the company goals, and to make sure that the project is able to generate value for the business as well as for society at large. Now, I'm not one of these quantitative or quantitative risk managers who's going to be in an office all day, with spreadsheets and numbers and stuff like that. I am a people skill, soft skill project manager, focus more on the Scrum side, Agile side. So I do more innovation games and playing poker and stuff like that. Not too much on the Monte Carlo analysis or any other type of risk management tools. But I do view everything through a risk management prism. So, my question is simple. What type of risk management is being done by these companies that are producing these type of toys? I'm guessing there's no risk management done, no type of risk management activity that's done, no type of, what if analysis or, brainstorming analysis, anything like that, that's being done by these companies that make these toys. OpenAI products, the ChatGPT product they have, as well as, Gemini or, other chatbots like Character AI or Replica, they are absolutely not designed for children. The training material, the training data contains books and, and writings that are not designed for children. And any type of safeguard you put in place for a chatbot, it's eventually going to break down as a chatbot is used over and over again. For these online remote systems, because these online systems, they learn from you, they integrate your knowledge, and the rated words that are used actually change. And because of this, because it contains all the knowledge, There's knowledge that children should not know about, knowledge that I don't want my son, who's a young child, to know about, and rightly so. I mean, knowledge about how do we light matches, how do we use a knife, how do we do tie people up, stuff like that. Those are things that children have no business knowing, should not be in the training data, should not be used at all. And I think chatbots, if they're not, if the training data does not contain information that's designed for people under 12 years old or younger, that should be used. And it should be those chatbots should be trained by professionals in child psychiatry, child counseling, people with master's degrees, and I don't like it. And this is going to be a massive blow for the whole AI industry as a whole, because everyone thinks that AI, LLMs, chatbots, same. No, they're not same. They're completely different. So, what would I have done differently if I was hired as a project manager to create these teddy bear chatbots that children are allowed to play with and talk to and have conversations with? I would have done it as on a risk management side. As a team, we would have a brainstorming session where we would identify every single risk possible for the project, for the outcome, for the deliverables, and I would write down those risks on a whiteboard or a sheet of paper. So, what are some of these risks that I see? Again, I would not probably throw these ideas out until the very end if no one else does, but some of the risks I see, just from the technology side, not from the manufacturing side or demand side, would be what would happen if OpenAI changes the terms of the API. That is, if they increase the price, if they start having tiers, for example, usage, stuff like that. What would happen if the safeguards break down? What type of fail-safe are there? Can a fail-safe actually be put in place? How would a fail-safe be in place? I don't know. What are the psychological impacts of children using the type of chatbots? Will it create any type of social disability? Will it create any type of emotional harm to them? What will it create any type of abandonment issues? What are the harms of these type of toys? When OpenAI, and it's a when, not an if, when they go bankrupt, how will the toys be used afterwards? Are they will they have some type of backup LLM system inside where it can be used offline, or where it could be filled over to be used if OpenAI sends a command saying, "Hey, we're offline now. We're out of business." Stuff like that. If that's impossible to do, what is the psychological harm once this toy stops working because the API is no longer compatible with the system? Children get very attached to things, and children, especially young children, they don't know the difference between reality and not reality. My son knows that I'm real because I talk. My son is old enough where he, for the most part, avoided this AI thing, these AI tools, these AI toys, and he's old enough, I think, to know that just because something talks like it's human doesn't mean it's actually human. It's not me. It's not a living thing. It's a toy. It's fiction. Um, what would be the damage to the company if the toy says something inappropriate? If the toy starts giving directions about how to tie people up, for example, or how to use matches, and and the child burns down the house, what type of damage can that cause to the company? How is that going to look for the executive office team? Not just the project manager, but the because most people don't think, project managers actually are real. Most people, when they look at a company, they just see the CEO, the CFO, the lawyers, and they ignore the rest. And I'm not going to be a CEO. So, would the CEO feel comfortable being dragged into Congress and have a 12-hour grilling session? Would they feel comfortable being, told they have caused psychological harm to children? What's a risk tolerance? Those are the questions I would ask, and that I would get the team to elicit for me for the response. Then, then the team and I would, sort the likelihood of occurrence and impact of the risks based on, judgment, usually on a likelihood impact matrix, and which would allow the project team to identify which risks should be analyzed further for financial impact. My experience for executives saying that this has a high impact risk, it's whatever. What's a high impact? I don't care. But when you analyze it based on dollar impact, if this risk event happens, it's going to impact the business by $1 million. Oh, dollars. Yeah, that's let's look into contingencies for there. When we would do that with these risks until we discover the highest priority risks. And then as a project manager or scrum master or whatever, I'd sit down with the executives and say, yeah, sure you want this project? I can do it, but look at all the risks, look at the financial impact, look at the psychological impact. You sure you want this project done? And because it's AI and lots of money involved, they'll say yes. And at this point, I would, keep a summary, keep a diary every day. I write in a notebook like this, in pen, and just to cover myself. Because, I like children. And I like to make sure that children are not harmed. And these AI systems, I feel, and I'm not a child psychiatrist or a child researcher, but I feel that it's going to create some incredible damage down the line, and it's going to cause a lot of negative impact on the AI industry as a whole. And I don't want to, be impacted by the fallout if something bad ever happens. So, in summary, it's a disaster waiting to happen. But, the purpose of these videos is to show a, potential employee what I'm capable of, how I think, my thought process, and why you should interview me and hopefully hire me for a project manager, scrum master type position. But ultimately, my job is to protect the organization from risk and to protect management and the executive office from humiliation, from embarrassment. And everything I do would be about that, and to remove any type of efficiencies within the organization. So, if you want to learn more about running a local AI system that you cannot use for any type of children chatbots or dolls or anything like that, buy my book, GPT for All, Installing, Configuring, and Using a Local AI Chatbot That You Control. Again, don't have children use it. You have to use encyclopedias instead, or but no, not for children, but for adults. Yep, it's an adult thing. It's by me, Benjamin Hayes, available on Amazon, Kindle Direct, or just buy a copy of it. Or if you want me to work for you as a project manager, scrum master, project coordinator, or something else in the project management industry, in the IT industry, follow me on LinkedIn and send me a message. Thank you very much for watching. See you again next time. Bye now.